Badger and Fox facing each other at the end of the tunnel.
Farmers aren't going to quit until they've got you and every member of your family nailed upside down to a bloody stick with your eyes gouged out.
This is getting a little too personal. Give me a minute. Fox turns away. He faces the wall of the tunnel. He sits down on the rock. Everyone watches him uncertainly. They look at each other. Badger starts to say something, but Kylie cuts him off. Fox sits with his chin on his paw, lost in a concentrated thought. He stands up. He nods repeatedly and begins to pace. His eyes dart from one spot to another. His paws move abruptly around the air, drawing lines in shapes. He freezes, looks up straight at the ceiling, snaps his finger in his paw. Got an idea.
What is it?
It could be a good one.
Well, lay it on us.
It might save our lives.
Say the idea.
All right, let's try it. Go to the foot lines. Tell Mrs. Badger, Rabbit's ex-wife, etc., that help is on the way.
Is help on the way?
I sure as hope cuss it is.
I know what it's like to feel different.
I'm not different, am I?
We all are. Him especially. But there's something kind of fantastic about that, isn't there?
Not to me. I'd prefer to be an athlete.
Gentlemen, this time we must dig in a very special direction. Got to kind of feel out the vibe. All right, begin. The diggers 100 yards later, suddenly Fox suddenly whistles and raises his fist. The diggers stop digging, but Foxy feels the ceiling with his paws and he knocks on something hard. It's hollow and he looks at the others in a funny expression and raised eyebrows. I've done it for the first time. I've come up to see where you are, my darlings. Everyone scrambles out of the tunnel and stands in the middle of Boggis' chicken house number 1. Oh, I slapped it right in the middle. Do you see how incredible this is? Everyone looks dazed and wild. Foxy whispers sharply with a half chirp and his obscure hand gesture. Montage, they keep digging. Essentially, they keep digging in all the places. Okay. Flip mine is larger but a cozy space with a stone wall, a dirt floor, and a small kitchen and a fireplace. There are rows of cots. A well-dressed mole smoking a pipe plays the piano.
What am I going to do? I'm going to hold him to the terms of the contract. It's not my fault they uprooted it.
The shot moves along to a table of small rabbits and badgers setting a place for table. For dinner, it moves past the kitchen where Rabbit works briskly with Mrs. Fox and Mrs. Badger preparing a feast.
And imagine how painful, even just emotionally, that must be for you.
Well, you know, it's not the end of the world.
Oh, but Foxy, how humiliating! Having your whole tail blown clean off by a...
Okay, can we drop it? Ash, brisk, his eyes narrow. He is distracted, thrust stray out of Fox. Fox takes out a tray with a puzzled look on his face. Ash walks away in a trance. He goes over to Kristofferson and Agnes standing at the punch bowl serving each other cups of ladles. Ash grabs Kristofferson by the sleeve.
They say you're a natural. True or false? Answer the question.
True, I guess.
Correct. Get out of here, Agnes. I need a private word with Kristofferson.
Just a minute. She doesn't have to.
I don't mind.
Agnes walks away quickly.
I just had a brainstorm for something fantastic I've got to do, and I can't do it alone.
Not interested.
Hear me out.
No thanks. I think foxes from your side of the family take unnecessary risks.
Only because they got guts in their blood. And so do we. I was a bit rude to Agnes, wasn't I? I'll say something nice to her in a minute.
What's the brainstorm?
In a nutshell, we're gonna steal back my dad's tail.
Kristofferson raises his eyebrows. A large fire truck drives up to the destroyed hill with firemen hanging off the side of it. It parks among the tractors and tents. The chief in a white helmet goes over to Boggis, Bunce, and Bean waiting at the mouth of the pit. The patch of sleeve says OWFRPW. Farm hands and firemen circle around him. Raechel, want to take this?
Who's got me a donation for the Old Wounded Firemen's Retirement Pension Fund?
Right here.
Candles aglow. Everyone is seated at a long dinner table. A magnificent feast with a variety of foods are there. Badger suddenly stands and rings a knife against his cider glass. Everyone looks up and takes a breather from the frenzy of eating.
Took a total catastrophe for all of you to finally take me on my offer to have you over to the Flint mine for dinner. But I guess we have.
I'm sorry. Maybe my invitation got lost in the mail. Does anyone know what this badger's talking about? But Clive is right. In all seriousness, excuse me, B. I guess we do have those three ugly cusshole farmers to thank for one thing, reminding us to be thankful and aware of each other. I'm going to say that again. Aware.
Foxy cuss blocked my toast, man.
Oh, ready.
Let her rip.
Ash and Kristofferson crouch under the drain cover, pushed just open next to the refrigerator. They peer across the bright, clean, white kitchen.
Feel safe.
That's because we're not. You should probably put on your bandit hat now. Personally, I don't have one, but I modified this tube sock.
We look good.
Now, where would you keep a prized tail if you collected them? If that was your hobby?
I'd probably hang it up over the mantle.
Good. In fact, what's that smell?
Ash and Kristofferson sniff the air. Across the room, they spot a plate full of perfect golden cookies on the countertop with a step ladder in front of it.
Ever tasted one of Mrs. Bean's famous nutmeg ginger apple snaps?
Kristofferson shakes his head. He and Ash gather more cookies than they can possibly carry, eating them as they collect them. Crumbs go everywhere. Kristofferson pauses. Ash looks at him curiously as the sound. Kristofferson points to the television set with the sound turned off in the corner. Bean's interview is being replayed at the bottom of the screen. It reads, "Earlier this week, Ash is furious." Door opens to the kitchen. Ash and Kristofferson spin around. Mrs. Bean setting her keys, loose change on the table. Ash and Kristofferson panics silently. Mrs. Bean does not appear to notice them. She walks out of the kitchen into the nest room. Ash and Kristofferson pocket a few more cookies and start to go. Then Mrs. Bean walks back into the kitchen holding up a fish knife. I've stepped on some toes and alienated a few of you over the past few days. There's even been talk of some kind of idiotic legal action. But is it wrong for me to suggest that we might have done worse than having a incredible banquet in a beautiful Flint mine surrounded by our favorite animals? Yes, our homes have been demolished, but look at each other. We are here. Wow. Now I've had too much to drink and I'm feeling sentimental, but I'm going to say something anyway, which nobody wants to admit, but I think is probably true. We beat them. We beat those farmers, and now we are triumphantly eating their roasted chicken, their sizzling duck, their succulent turkey, their fawn gray day. Where'd the boys go? Ash? Kristofferson? What am I hearing? What's happening? Am I still paranoid? There's a low, distant rumble which rapidly builds to a deafening roar. A single drop of water drips from the ceiling into Badger's water glass. Foxy sips it. Cider? A wild deluge smashes into the room, flooding the Flint mine and tunnels with a blast current that sweeps everyone and everything away chaotically. The entire party of well-dressed animals in their plates, furniture, chickens, shooting down the tunnel with rushing cider. Fox helplessly holds his breath and looks at the others underwater. The flood blasts out the windpipe, rocketing the animals into a murky brick cavern with drain pipes all on on all sides, 3 inches of black water on the floor. Fox picks himself up, dazed and scared. What the cuss just happened? Something with cider. That was dangerous. Is anyone hurt?
All hurt! My entire Flint mine just got demolished!
Did I not give a Beaver? I'm sorry. Mindy.
We're suing you again.
Let's do a head count. Everyone take a buddy. Where'd the boys go? Ash, Kristofferson.
I'm here.
Ash, who's your buddy?
Kristofferson, but I lost him.
You lost him? Where were you?
We went for the tail.
The what?
Your tail, the necktie.
Oh, my cuss. You're wearing a fake bandit hat. What'd you do? Kristofferson. Kristofferson.
Kristofferson.
Kristofferson.
Kristofferson.
3 farmers standing next to a fire truck. Bean holds up a soaked, half-conscious Kristofferson up in the air by the tail.
Wrap this wet little mutt in a newspaper and put him in a box with some holes punched in the top.
Everyone gathered together. They're all in a state of shock. Foxy turns to Mrs. Fox beside him. She has her arms around Ash, whose face is buried in his hands. Your brother's going to kill me if he survives his double pneumonia. Mindy?
There's only one way out of this sewer, but the manhole cover's closed, and it's a station wagon parked on it, which means we're permanently stuck down here.
You still think we beat him, Foxy?
No, Badger's right. These farmers aren't going to quit until they catch me. I shouldn't have lied to your face. I shouldn't have fallen off the wagon and started secretly stealing chickens on the sly. I shouldn't have pushed these farmers so far and tried to embarrass them and cuss with their heads. I enjoyed it, but I shouldn't have done it. And now there's only one way out. Maybe if I hand myself over and let them kill me, stuff me, and hang them over their mantelpiece.
We'll do no such thing.
Darling, maybe they'll let everyone else live.
Why do you have to get us into this, Foxy?
I don't know, but I have a possible theory. I think I have this thing where I need everyone to think I'm the greatest, the quote-unquote fantastic Mr. Fox. And if they aren't completely knocked out, dazzled, and kind of intimidated by me, I'll feel good about myself. Foxes traditionally like to court danger, hunt prey, and outsmart predators, and that's what I'm actually good at. And I think at the end of the day,
We're wild animals.
I guess we always were. I promise you, if I had all this to do over again, I'd never let you down. It was always more fun when we did it together anyway. I love you, Felicity.
I love you too, but I shouldn't have married you.
Ash, did I ever tell you that about the time I learned we were going to have a cub?
In the fox trap.
Right, we were in gunpoint, and your mother
Says she's pregnant.
let me tell it, okay? I had no idea how we were going to get out of this jam, and then it hit me. What do foxes do better than any other animal?
Dig.
You're stepping on my lines.
Keep telling it.
So we dug, and the whole time I put paw over paw, scooping dirt and pebbles with your mother digging like crazy beside me. I was wondering, who is this little boy going to be?
Or girl.
Or a girl, right, because at that point we didn't know. Ash, I'm so glad he was you. It's not your fault. It's mine. Goodbye. Foxy looks across the cavern to Mrs. Fox, standing here, back to him. She turns to face him. Her eyes are burning. Fox smiles sadly. He races away down the drain pipe. Everyone watches him disappear.
I guess we should probably split into a certain number of groups and start doing something, right?
Badger carrying a lantern, leading Ash, Mole, and 2 small rabbits down the drain pipe.
Kristofferson, hello? Can you hear us?
They got the boy.
Everyone stops short. Brad drops into the pipe from the overhead drain ahead of them.
Nothing down here but rusty bottle caps and draining water.
Who's got him?
The farmers three. They want a tree.